All right, let's continue with our new spells from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And here we'll have the spells of level 4 and 5. Now, a lot of these spells here, if not all of them, are summon spells. They really went heavy on the summons, and I'm a big fan of summon spells, so I like to see these. But starting with level 4, they have Summon Aberration. Now notice casting time of 1 action, duration up to an hour with concentration. It's going to cost 400 gold piece to cast this one right here. You call forth an aberrant spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. This corporeal form uses the aberrant spirit stat block. When you cast the spell, you get 3 choices, either Beholderkin, Slod, or Star Spawn, and that'll change up how this spirit is going to appear. So the creature resembles an aberration of that kind, which determines certain traits in the stat block. And of course, it'll disappear when it hits 0 hit points or the spell ends. So notice the aberrant spirit is going to be a medium aberration. Armor class 11 plus the level of the spell. Hit points 40 plus 10 for every spell level above 4. And if you choose the Beholderkin, it'll even get a hover and flying speed of 30 there. So there you can see strength, con, intel, not bad. Damage immunities to psychic, dark vision to 60. And if you choose the Slod form, it'll get regeneration. The aberration regains 5 hit points at the start of its turn if it has at least 1 hit point remaining. So if this thing survives some type of encounter, give it some time, it's going to go right back up to full hit points pretty soon. If you choose the Star Spawn, it'll get something called Whispering Aura. At the start of each of the aberration's turns, each creature within 5 feet of the aberration must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or take 2d6 psychic damage, provided that the aberration isn't incapacitated. Looking at actions, again, the multi-attack, how many attacks it gets will depend on the spell level. Makes a number of attacks equal to half the spell level rounded down, so up to 4 right there. With the Slod, it'll get a claw attack. It's a melee weapon attack. As always, they use your spell attack modifier to hit. Range of 5 feet. It's going to do 1d10 plus 3 plus the spell's level and slashing damage. If the target is a creature, it can't regain hit points until the start of the aberration's next turn. If you chose the Beholderkin, it's going to get an eye ray. Again, here using your ranged spell attack, your spell attack modifier to hit. Range of 150 feet, going to do 1d8 plus 3 plus the spell's level and psychic damage. If you chose the Star Spawn, gets a psychic slam, considered a melee spell attack. Again, use your spell modifier to hit, reach of 5, going to do 1d8 plus 3 plus the spell's level and psychic damage. So I like the way with these summon spells you get some variations of each type. 2, maybe 3, depending on the summon spell. Then you can modify it as you want. So also at 4th level, Summon Construct. Again, 1 action, lasts up to an hour. Going to cost you 400 gold to cast this one here. You call forth the spirit of a construct. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. This corporeal form uses the construct spirit stat block. Now notice when you cast the spell, you get to choose a material. Clay, metal, or stone. The creature will resemble a golem or a modron, whichever one you choose, made of the chosen material, which determines certain traits. Again, dies if it hits 0 hit points, and so on. So here you can see this is a medium construct. Armor class for this one starts at 13, plus a level for each level of the spell. Hit points start at 40, and instead of 10, they get an additional 15 hit points for every spell level above 3rd. So there's your stats, strength and con at 18, that's good. There's the usual damage, resistances, and immunities that you would expect. So if you choose the metal form, it'll get heated body. This is great. A creature that touches the construct or hits it with a melee attack within 5 feet of it takes 1d10 fire damage. So let this thing get surrounded. And every time something hits it, that's like a good melee attack against them right there. If you chose the stone, you get something called stony lethargy. When a creature the construct can see starts its turn within 10 feet of the construct can force it to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the target can't use reactions and its speed is halved until the start of its next turn. So it has a couple of effects there. There's the same multi-attack, depends on the spell level. This one will get a slam right here. It's going to do 1d8 plus 4 plus the spell's level and bludgeoning damage. And then with reaction, the clay form gets berserk lashing. When the construct takes damage, it makes a slam attack against a random creature within 5 feet of it. I assume that means hostile creature only. If no creature is within reach, the construct moves up to half its speed toward an enemy it can see without provoking opportunity attacks. Then they have also at level 4, Summon Elemental. Again, one action up to an hour, going to cost you 400 gold to cast this one too. Here you call forth an elemental spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space you can see within range, which is 90 feet. This corporeal form uses the elemental spirit stat block we see below. When you cast the spell, choose an element, air, earth, fire, or water. It says the creature resembles a bipedal form wreathed in the chosen element. So this one's a medium elemental, armor class 11 plus spell level, hit points 50 plus 10 per spell level above 4, speed of 40, and the earth gets a burrowing speed of 40. Flying gets a flying speed of, or the air gets a flying speed of 40, and then the water a swim speed of 40. There's the strength at 18, dex 15, con 17, charisma 16, surprisingly. There's the usual damage resistance you would expect. Acid resistance for the water only, lightning and thunder for the air, piercing and slashing for the earth. Immune to poison, and the fire forms immune to fire damage. And of course these elementals always get the immunities from exhaustion, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, unconscious. So looking at your forms right here, they tell you they have amorphous form, air, fire, and water only. The elemental can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide without squeezing, so they're going to get through any kind of tiny crack. They have the multi-attack just as the other. Number of attacks depends on the spell level. And then there's a slam attack. Going to do 1d10 plus 4 plus the spell's level in bludgeoning damage for air, earth, and water, and then fire damage for fire only, just as you would expect. So there's a good summon elemental. Now check this, summon celestial, 5th level conjuration. One action up to an hour, going to cost you 500 gold piece. So they're going 100 gold piece per level as far as the component cost. You call forth a celestial spirit. It manifests in an angelic form in an unoccupied space you can see within 90 feet. This corporeal form uses the celestial spirit stat block. When you cast the spell, you got to choose Avenger or Defender, one or the other. Your choice determines the creature's attacks. So as usual, dies when it drops to 0 or the spell ends. Of course, it's ally, friend to you down here. And at higher levels, when you cast this spell at a higher level, ups the stat block like we've seen with the others. Now notice now we move to large. This is going to be a large celestial. Armor class is 11 plus the level of the spell plus 2 for the defender only. So if you choose the defender, get a better armor class. Hit points are 40 plus 10 for each spell level above 5. Speed of 30, flying 40. There's the stats right there. Damage resistant to radiant. Immune to charm and frighten. Dark vision 60. The same multi-attack as the others. Spell level divided by 2, rounded down. For the Avenger form, it uses a radiant bow. So ranged weapon attack using your spell attack modifier to hit. Look at this range, 150 and 600 feet. So it's going to do on a hit 2d6 plus 2 plus the spell's level in radiant damage. If you chose Defender, it'll get a radiant mace. Melee weapon attack, again, uses your spell attack modifier. Going to do 1d10 plus 3 plus the spell's level radiant damage. And the celestial can choose itself or another creature it can see within 10 feet of the target. That chosen creature gains 1d10 temporary hit points. They like temporary hit points in this book. It's always good to have those. And then once a day, it can use Healing Touch. The celestial touches another creature. The target magically regains hit points equal to 2d8 plus the spell's level. So nice little extra right there. Always good to have a celestial around. So there's our 4th and 5th level spells. We'll continue with the others. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.